Yes, people, welcome back to another episode of Real Ball Talk. Hope everyone is blessed and well. Happy New Year, and that feels like it's been a minute since we done a show. But no, Happy New Year, everyone. Hope everyone is blessed. Families are blessed. Everyone is well. The man then will be joining us shortly. Rashes should be here in a sec. Jeff will be here in a sec. Jilo unfortunately can't make it today due to um, personal family matters. So big up Jalil every time, man. Big up his family too. And he'll be on for the next show for sure. But he sends his love as always. You know what it is, people. When you jump in, the first thing to do is smash a like on the video. If you're new to RBT, subscribe to the channel. If you got anyone that likes football and just wants to hear people banner give their thoughts, then you know what to do. Share with them, let them know about us. Looking to grow all the time. Definitely a lot of new things coming this year that we slightly stalled on last year. Obviously, you know what it is. Life gets in the way sometimes, but definitely this year we'll be going in. They got my brother Ted at D in the building saying, let's go. Hope Jalil's family is good. Yeah, all good, bro. Yeah, no, Jalil's all blessed, man. I know he'll appreciate that. And big you up as always, man. Ted at D, bro. Come on. Need to have you on the show soon, man, especially when we're talking about Arsenal transfer news. We need to talk, man, because Arsenal's lack of squad depth is looking scary right now still. Um, but yeah, man, you know what, that might actually be a good place to start. Let's start with Arsenal, their 0-0 draw with Newcastle. Um, I mean, obviously there was the game before as well, the 4-2 away win at Brighton, which Brighton, as we all know, Brighton are actually a very good team. As we saw, they slapped Everton 4-1 the other day away from home. Lampard, that's another topic for another day, and British managers. But yeah, 0-0 at home to Newcastle. Didn't create many chances, if we're being honest. Arsenal didn't. It was a chance to go, I think, 10 points clear. Haven't played a game more. Obviously, City then won last night away at Chelsea, who are just, we'll speak about Chelsea too, because what's going on over there is a bit mad. But yeah, Arsenal 0-0 draw. You know what? In a title race, I'm not going to say it's a terrible result because in a title race, you can't win every game. It's unrealistic. Arsenal had been on a mad good run of form dating back to pre-international break. Um, but yeah, I guess it's just the lack of squad depth. I actually think I would just like to make one point. I actually think Eddie and Nketiah actually played pretty well. People will know I'm not as big as fan. Ted Adi will testify to that, but I gotta give credit where credit is due. He's actually been playing pretty well. I can't really blame him. I just think the lack of squad depth. Arteta's never been great at making subs anyway, for even when he had options, when he had the likes of Pepe and that on the bench. But you got to wonder, you signed Fabio Vieira for 40 M's. He can't get a game. He can't get 20 minutes. He can't get 15 minutes. Like, how does that happen? That Marquinhos brother that we signed, again, like, he's a youngster, but why not give him 10, 15 minutes? Like, what's the harm? Like, and I think that's one of the things that Arteta needs to improve. Obviously, the squad is not the best in terms of the depth, but I still don't think that's an excuse not to make any subs whatsoever. Like no one can tell me why Tomiyasu comes on at 0-0. Tomiyasu is even more defensive than Ben White. So why is Tomiyasu coming on a right back to provide what attacking input? He's not going to provide any whatsoever. So that was a strange one, and I can't even remember what did we make. Did Arsenal make any other subs? Did El Neni come on? I don't know. I don't even remember. Tomiyasu is the only sub that I can remember. So for me, I look at it and I'm looking at Newcastle again. My thoughts on Newcastle are that they're a good team. Eddie Howe's done a fantastic job, I think, especially if you look at their 11. I don't know, man. A team like that is in third place. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nick Pope is a good keeper. Oh, that's a great shout, actually. What's happened to Lokonga as well? Forgotten man. But this is what I'm saying. Like Lokonga has got talent. I know it. I know. I know some Arsenal fans already don't like him because I know in some of my other group chats, some of my guys are not fans of Lokonga at all. But I still like he's got talent. If you're just gonna waste him and let him rot on the bench, just let him go on loan or something. Like, because he's got good attributes. I think he could be a decent ball carrier. Just give him a go. Like, so I don't know, man. I think that's a great shout, Ted Addy, in terms of Lokonga, Fabio Vieira. I think Smith Rowe's about to come back. Again, Smith Rowe, good player to have off the bench. Do I love Smith Rowe? I don't love Smith Rowe, but he's a good you know what, actually let me tell you that back. For the bench, he's a good bench player. I'm not gonna lie about that. But we Arsenal know what they're competing with. Man City last night brought on Mahrez and Grealish off the bench. And so Arsenal know what they're competing with. So let me just add Jeff to the stream. Big up Jeff. What are you telling me, family?
All good, my guy. How you, man? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year and that, my bro. What are you saying?
Yeah, nothing much, man. Nothing much. Apologies for the lateness, man.
Nah, don't worry about that, bro. Don't worry about it. We were just talking about Arsenal Newcastle, the 0-0 draw.
Mm,
Um, and just because I wanted to get your thoughts, like after Arsenal won at Brighton, yeah,
yeah.
and the City drew at home to Everton. Obviously, Arsenal was 7 points clear, and I think
Uh-huh.
in Prem history, any side that's gone into January 1st with a 7 point lead, um, has never lost the title from that point. Never
Mm,
has. Now,
yeah.
the context that probably needs to be applied to that is usually 3 or 4 more games that have been played by that stage.
Big
So that's
difference.
probably the fair context that should be applied. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but after the Brighton game, I generally started believing and saying, you know what, Arsenal can actually do, only because you know what it is. I'm looking at City as well. And even when you look at City yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Chelsea are bad right now, bro. Chelsea are
It's shaky, man.
they're shaky right now. So I'm looking at
Yeah.
City and they're not firing on all cylinders. So I really think if Arsenal can get this window right, this January one, I think Arsenal can actually win, challenge right until the end, at least. What do you think? Are you still not sold? Do you think there was anything concerning from that Newcastle game? And yeah, what are you saying?
Um. Well, we could. Let's just say that we. I'll start with that. That we could win the league. Do I think that when you ask me the chance, I say it's below 50% still. Just
Okay.
because. All right, put it this way: City are having a troubling game, or not an even game with
Yeah,
Chelsea.
you're gonna
After the
say that.
first half,
Yeah.
ain't the best. They then can make two subs, and they are the difference in the game. Arsenal are playing. Let's just start. Newcastle are a good team, a really good team. Like they're physical, they're hard to break down. They proved it. Like we didn't actually create that many clear chances, like
No,
clear cut. But we didn't have any. I don't even know if we made a sub in the
that's why I was
10.
just saying. Only Tomiyasu, bro.
Yeah, like there wasn't enough on from the bench to even change up the game. Like how if there was a Jesus or then maybe there's an Nketiah on the bench or something like that.
Mm,
There's not
yeah.
enough for me to be completely confident we're going to win the league. Like regardless of what pundits and that are saying, you can say to say we're contenders is cool, it's fair, I hear it. But also like I know my club, man, like we're just as well as we play football, like we play really good football. Like even against Newcastle a year ago, we probably lose that game 1-0 because we end up getting frustrated and we can't break a team down and then we lose to a random goal. But we're much more solid now that we know what we need to do. But that still doesn't change the fact that we still need some extra creativity from the bench. Like like we're still a bit short. Like we could have argued and said Fabio Vieira should have come on, but then you
So,
could say that on the physicality side he's not there yet. So could that have been a thing where, all right, we're bringing you on to create more, but then we leave ourselves a little bit more vulnerable too by bringing you on.
mhm.
So we're not all the way there yet, man. That we're just not. Like we're a much better team. Maybe if we make a January transfer window signing, maybe that will change things. But I still think we're a little thin in those key areas like at the moment. Like if Partey gets injured, the golfing quality between Partey and El Neni is big. It's not a slight drop. It's a big drop. Like no disrespect to Oneni. Oneni's an average, normal player. Like he's cool. Like he's a good
Normal
player.
player, yeah, yeah, just normal player. I don't think that's a
Partey,
skill, to be honest.
nah, it's not. Partey is. One of the best DMs in the league.
In the world.
In the world. Now, in the league, he's probably top 3. Like you can say
We know the
Rodri,
3 are in there.
yeah, Rodri, Casemiro, and him. And he's probably 3rd. And you could say Declan Rice, if he counts as DM, is probably 4th or whatever. And Kante, whoever. Like if Kante's fit, if you count him as a DM, he's up there too. But the reality is that drop in quality is big. And again, if we had an injury to Jesus in a game where Brazil had qualified, so like 60th minute or something, and you're out for 3 months, and you just like the way it was reported at first, slight pain in the knee, no, nothing too concerning, 3 months.
Yeah.
If that happens to Saka, then what happens to Arsenal? Because Saka is on top of his game right now. He's our key outlet. Like, when Martinelli has been playing well, he had a tough game against Trippier. Besides, Saka was our consistent good outlet. He was terrorizing Dan Burn.
Yeah,
and
you know what it is like. I feel like with Saka, I think Rash just said he's going to be a few more minutes. Big up. I feel like with Saka, he's playing really well right now, but it'll still be nice to have an extra option off the bench. Like even
exactly.
I do think a Pepe would have been good right now to have off the bench, like something like an X factor type. You're still not having Pepe even off the bench.
But I don't even want it. I want him gone. Like, it's cool. Like, no.
So you're done with him. Like you're done with him.
Yeah, it's over. Like, bring in.
I agree that it's over. But I'm saying I wouldn't
don't even bring him back.
No, I'm not saying bring him back. I'm just saying if we had him, I wouldn't mind him as a 20-minute sub. Like, give me something. You know what I'm saying? He's got the shots. He can take set pieces. Like, it's a different option. You know what I'm saying? Like,
again,
we're bringing no one on right now.
Yeah, but all right. I don't even want to put him in my mind to think about because he's over. Like, to me, I don't want anything to do with him. Like, you had 3. It's your 4th year at Arsenal. This would be your 4th. It's your 4th year contracted to Arsenal.
It would have been his 4th year, yeah.
It's your 4th year contracted to Arsenal. You had 3 solid years to make an impression. I'm fair. I give new players 18 months. You still did nothing. I don't even want to think about you as a bench option. Like, there's no point. Like, even you from the bench, what are you going to do? Like, you're just going to stand on the wing and pretend to go past people? Like, give me a proper wide option who's a viable option from the bench. Like, we'll just talk about it. The Mudryk option, if you bring someone like him into the fold and you spend the money, it's going to be money well spent because I know it's a little bit steep because the market is the market. But at the end of the day, the market is the market because it's not just to do with us. It's the way other deals have gone in the past 2-3 years. There's no other way you're going to get a player like this. So if
I understand. But let me play devil's advocate with you there, Jeff, for a second.
Yeah.
When we signed Pepe, were you happy?
I didn't. I'll be honest. I needed to see further review. Like, all the goals that I was seeing in League One
didn't convince you.
No.
But you're more convinced from the Mudryk highlights.
Yes.
Okay,
I'll say this. Like,
just throwing that out there because people will ask the question. Like, question.
It's just a feeling. You can't say.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a feeling,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a feeling.
Yeah.
Like, Pepe, like, people were telling my guy was a big Arsenal fan. Like, he's normally one I listen to, saying, "Oh, he's really good in League One." I'm just all right. When we started being linked to him, so all right, let me look at his last season. Let me just look at the highlight. You know, they always have the highlights on YouTube.
The highlights, yeah.
Let me just watch a good 20-25 minutes of different clips of this guy and let me see. I wasn't convinced. Like, the goals he was scoring in the middle of the goal, like, there's bad French keepers. So the finishes in which you're finishing, try that with Addison or Edison. They're just going to catch the ball. These aren't going to work. So I was like, all right.
You know the goals you're talking about as well. I know the goals you're talking about as well. I mean,
it's weird. It's going under the keeper. Like, they're not intended finishes. It's not like you're looking at it, if it was like a Michael Owen or something, like he meant that. It's like, no. You just shot, hope for the best, and it went in, and you got 22 league goals from it. So I wasn't convinced from that, but it's like, all right, he's got feet. And when he came to the league, you're looking at him, it's like, okay, he can take people on. Like, remember that first half against Liverpool, he gave them hell for 45
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah. He was on fire, man.
Yeah, if he can convert some of this, it's going to be a problem. Then at the end of the year, okay, it's a couple Europa games at the one where he came on and scored 2 free kicks, things like that. You're thinking,
Yeah.
okay. Then there was I guess the FA Cup run, things like that.
Yeah.
You're thinking, okay. See if he takes us into the next season, what happens? Takes into the next season, more of the same. It's like, okay, by January, like, all right, this guy isn't the guy because this is your 18th month in England. You're still scared to take people on. It just doesn't make sense. When you look at Mudryk, on the other hand, he looks like he's kind of made for the Prem in a way. Again, it's just a feeling that he's fast.
No, I know. Yeah.
He's strong. He can shoot. Just seems like an all-round terror. Like someone, if you bring on in the 70th minute of a game, fullbacks are going to be scared, very scared. And that can be the difference sometimes, even if it doesn't directly lead to a goal. Sometimes that indirect fear is what you need. So you need just options from the bench. So if you bring in a Mudryk, yeah, the market is the market. Like it's not ideal. Like even Shakhtar, the way they're playing it is just like, we know we'll get this money. So if you continue to give us short deals, like I think we're getting closer, but if you continue, we'll just say this is not happening until summer. Or Chelsea can steal.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Chelsea are all over the place right now, bro.
They'll try and sign anybody at this moment.
Yeah. I don't even know what their strategy is, bro. They just signed another Brazilian brother.
Andre Santos, right?
Andre Santos, 18-year-old.
Yeah. I don't get it. Like they're all over. They probably got 7 or 8 wingers that they're not using correctly as it is. So I don't know what Mudryk is going to do for them. And he seems to want to join Arsenal. But
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, like if we're serious about outside of the winning the league, just automatic Champions League and really building for next year, you go and sign someone like that because you've been tracking him for a year. For as far as I know, you've been looking at him for a year. In depth. We were closer in the summer that we were looking at him, but then I guess the price, we didn't like it. And if I believe it was like 50-55 then. Now it's 85. The longer you wait, the more it goes up. Like you have to kind of grab it with both hands now. Like take the deal, sign him. Because remember Bruno Guimaraes? We looked at him for the best part of 18 months. And didn't make a bid. They were just kind of like, oh yeah, we like him. We like him. He's gone to Newcastle a year on. He's killing it at Newcastle. He's a big part of how Newcastle play. Newcastle are third. And you look at Bruno Guimaraes, you say he's maybe got a year left there if he wants. He can go play for bigger teams. He can go to a Real Madrid. He can go to wherever he feels like because he's comfortable. He can play. He can really play. So if you track... if you track someone for 18 months, I'm trusting you, like, especially with our recent purchase history. It's like, okay, it seems like we have a real plan. So if you're really looking at someone for this long, then make a bid, a significant bid, and get your man. Like, I understand the tact and not wanting to overpay because we saw what we did with Pepe. We paid 20 million too much. For some reason, I don't even know why, but end of the day, you've been looking at the guy this long. Make a respectable bid that they're going to accept, and then we can really look at what we're going to be later this season. Because Europa League hasn't begun yet. FA Cup is starting now. Like the same way with everyone saying, "Oh, Arsenal could win it." We're not. There's only one focus at the moment. So when there's other focuses, we're really going to see what we're made of. And we're not going to see what we're made of if we don't get a chance to bring anyone on. If Saka is playing every game, imagine he's playing an FA Cup game against Southend.
Like this weekend, I'm expected to see Marquinhos against, Oxford?
Yeah.
I'm expected to see Marquinhos in that game. I'm not expecting to see Saka. So
you just become a target.
Yeah, no, facts. So... But yeah, no, I agree with pretty much most of what you said. To be fair, I can't even lie there. Definitely, the squad depth needs to be looked at. Mudryk, I think, could be a huge addition. Maybe Joao Felix too. Even though I have a feeling Joao Felix could end up at United. Even though I've seen today that they've been linked with Abubakar as well, which is just funny. Yeah, they've been linked with Abubakar. I mean, he's a good player, but like, how old is he now?
I don't even know.
He is. Oh, he's 30. Yeah.
All right, so with that Joao Felix one, what do you make of it?
Yeah, I'll take him, man. I'll take Felix, man. I'll take him, and I'll just work. I'll work out how it's gonna work after that. But I'd probably play him as a false nine.
So he'd play in Jesus' position.
Just add Rash.
Yo,
what's going on, my guys? You alright? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yo, Rash, all blessed, bro. What are you saying, bro?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear us? Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. I've got a new microphone, so I'm just testing it out.
Yeah. No, it's very clear, bro. Happy New Year, my bro.
Clear.
Come on.
Yeah, you guys too, man. You guys too. I've been a bit unwell, man. So allow me, guys, man. If I'm
don't worry, man. Don't worry. Big up yourself, man. Let me read out some of the comments, then we'll get back to that question from Jeff. Big up my guy Leon Simmons. Hope you're good, my bro. Happy New Year to you, bro. Hope you're blessed. Big up Falak saying, yo, are we starting the new year by dropping 2 people? Nah. Don't watch that. Like we said, Jalil couldn't be here for family reasons, and obviously Rash is here now. Falak saying, P.S. Happy New Year. How you all doing? We're all good, thank you. And hope you are too. Like we said, Happy New Year to everyone tuning in. Smash the like. So yeah, Rash, Jeff, we were just talking about Arsenal, the 0-0 draw, the lack of squad depth that became abundantly clear in that game, and how that could impact any title hopes that Arsenal have. And Jeff was just asking me about Joao Felix, about whether I'd take him. I said I would take him. What are you saying? Would you take Joao Felix?
I think everyone would take Joao Felix because he's such a talent. But for the price that they were suggesting, I just don't think it's worth it. But you know, if they could lower the price, like I think I saw that Man United put in a bid for like 4 million for the loan, and obviously they cover his full wages as well. If it's something that's along those lines, then that's reasonable, you know, and that's the kind of prices you would want to spend on a loanee for half a year who's a top talent. But you have to remember that this is a top talent who got signed for, I think, 120 million. Has got so many endorsement deals linked to Atletico as well. So we're talking about a lot of money being involved. So that's why the prices that they are when we're talking about Felix himself. So I think he will be a great addition to any club, especially to our Arsenal's. He plays our kind of style of football anyway, and he probably longs for it from being imprisoned in Simeone's defensive tactic so long. Whoever gets him, whoever enjoy that first 3, 4, 5 games is going to be loving it, because he's just going to feel that free spirit and probably just be so attacking minded that it's going to be very impactful. But can he slot into an Arsenal squad? Yeah, anywhere across the front lines, like anywhere. And I think that's how Arsenal should move forward now, with the front 3 being interchangeable, because we don't have an out centre forward. And unless we actually get that, then I think that's how this should proceed.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I think if Arsenal, do you think Arsenal will get the Mudryk deal done?
I mean, I think they will. I heard that someone sent me a message yesterday saying, "Who said that white people can't twerk?" Because Mudryk's been twerking online for months for Arsenal. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, so if it doesn't go through, it's a bit embarrassing.
He's been twerking hard for Arsenal.
It's a bit embarrassing.
He has.
So I think a deal can be done. I think Arsenal have their ceiling that they have, and I don't think they're going to go beyond that. Whether that ceiling's been met already, Allahu Alam, I don't know. I'm not too sure. But I do think it will be done, and I think if Mudryk comes, it will be a great addition to the team. Finally, I mean, as you mentioned a bit earlier on, City made a sub in their game. They bring on 2 wide forwards, done a sort for that, and it changed the game. They both added to the game by one providing the assist and the other one scoring. So Arsenal need to be able to have that sort of Arsenal in their locker. When for when they are in situations like what we was in. I mean, we was really going at Newcastle, but we couldn't penetrate it the way that we needed to. Just needed a different type of style, different flair, a different type of attribute just to add to it, and it would have come. We just didn't have those players on the bench, unfortunately. So having a Mudryk there as an alternative to the players on the pitch, I think that'll be okay. I think it will happen. I think it will happen. But at the same time, as an Arsenal fan, I'm still saying if Shakhtar are saying something that's unbelievable, then I don't think they should go for an unbelievable fee.
If I'm at Arsenal, I wouldn't pay 80.
No way. No.
I wouldn't pay.
You just got to think why. Like he said, what, 44 games for them. He's played very well. And he does look like he's got talent. Don't get me wrong, I'm not putting him down. Like, boy, looks good. But he's had those games where he's at in Shakhtar. He's played in Champions League, but they're few and far in between, aren't they? Those games. So anyone can have a good moment on the actual day. So, but that's not me taking away his talent. I'm just saying he hasn't really been tested week in, week out in the top league. Know how it's going to affect him physically, mentally, his ability. He might just come up just above average in the Prem. You know what I'm trying to say? So to take that sort of risk with that sort of money, with just a little bit of time to see what he can really do, I just think it would be too risky to spend that sort of money on Mudryk. But 65, yeah.
Who's an alternative?
Hmm?
Who's an alternative? Because that's probably our only target. It seems like our main wide target. Like there's probably others in the tuck there who they ain't mentioning. But to you guys, who would be our other wide targets?
That's a good question.
Well,
if we're looking at wingers,
yeah, there's still the same wingers that they were trying to go for in the summer as well. You still got Neto and all those men there. You still got
Neto's injured though. Like right now, he's still out.
He's injured right now. What's the other boy as well? There's another one at Wolves as well. That they were looking at. There's Lau, and I know if Lau would be a big fee. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
That would be a massive fee, yeah.
It'd be a big fee, but I actually think that kid is worth it.
Lau's a good player, man.
I actually think
no way Arsenal are spending those P's. But he's a good player. He's a good player, man.
Yeah. Like there are other people I haven't got.
I swear, I'll say this now. I wouldn't take him. I would not take him. But what do you think? Some people suggested out of contract in the summer, take him now, Zaha.
Taking Zaha?
Yeah, some people suggested Zaha is out of contract in the summer.
Yeah.
Some people are saying you can't get Mudryk, sign Zaha now for 20 million. Would you man do that? I wouldn't.
I would negotiate that price, but Zaha's a top talent, and I think it's just unfortunate that he hasn't been at a top team to reach his full potential and his full level of achievement. But I think he's a top talent, and at any attacking-minded team with a good manager, good baseline, I think he would thrive in that. And to have Zaha for 2 years, I think he's got lots of ability, and I think he's got a lot more football left in him. I think that would be all right. 15 and 15.
I don't know, man. Like I feel like Zaha, like 3-4 years ago, like when it was I was Zaha over Pepe all day. When it was between Zaha and Pepe, I would have picked Zaha all day. So now in the place where we are, where we seem to be attractive to like the newer talent that's right on the cusp, signing a 29-year-old, you still got a lot of 30-year-old, you still got a lot of ability that I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like cutting your legs off to spite your face now. You could literally, there's still a good young talent available who you could sign. Like if it was like Zaha, like if you sign him, you still have to kind of like play him a lot. Like you can't. It's not just for 5 months.
Nah, exactly. Yeah.
So exactly like it's, I don't know, man. I feel like the timing's wrong. If it was 2-3 years earlier, great. But to me, I'll put it this way: Zaha would be, in the most respectful way, he's still a 30-year-old rookie.
Because he's
that's
never
no
really played
disrespect.
because he's
Yeah,
never
that's
really played at the top level like that. No, facts.
yeah. If you buy him 2-3 years ago, then you're like, all right, cool. Like he's got time to like instill himself in like European football, etc., etc. But at 30, when you got a 21-year-old who you could sign with similar attributes, I think that's a bit more attractive. The Mudryk.
Who would you Mudryk? So you'd
Yeah.
pay whatever fee they say. You just
Not whatever fee, no. But the
Where would you stop?
85 mil, the 85 mil, I'd probably pay it because they want a certain structure, right? So if you're paying 50, 60 up front, okay. The 25 mil, you work it out however you work it out. But the market is the market. Like, I know we made a mistake with Pepe, but that was under the old structure. That was, what was my man's name? The old director, Raul.
Raul Sanelli.
And yeah, I think that was his signing, right?
Yeah, it was under Emery was still there and everything.
So things are a bit more haphazard now. It looks like we've got ourselves together in a hierarchical standpoint now as a club. So this target, it's kind of like the Bruno one. You tracked him for a year. The Bruno Mahrez, you tracked him for a year. It seemed like we knew he was the right player and then didn't make a bid. He's gone to Newcastle and he's helped transform their whole team. If you're tracking this guy for a year, I trust your judgment that you're tracking him for a year. Don't then let him go somewhere else and it comes back to bite us in the arse. Like he goes to Chelsea, all of a sudden Potter finds his correct formation. You see Sterling on one wing and Mudryk on the other, and they're killing shit. Like when he has been for the past 6 months has been sly social media post after sly social media post. Pick the kid up, like 85 mil. If like what Shakhtar are asking for isn't unrealistic. If United pay 85 for Anthony,
again, but that's another. They got fleeced there as well.
I feel like Man United got bumped. I feel like they got
fleeced for Anthony, but I don't rate
they probably
Anthony.
did. But at the same time, like Shakhtar are not wrong for now requesting that 85
No,
million.
they're not wrong. It's just business.
I hear that, yeah, that's true.
But I think it also is business that Arsenal having a ceiling, and if they don't want to go past that, then fair enough as well. Yeah. And if Chelsea also got money and they're like, yo, I'm splashing the cash, you're twerking on throwing cash at you, then good for them too. It's good business. It is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, just if this is the only target we're hearing about, this you really want this guy.
Yeah, that's why I think it's going to get done. Because even though if you look onto certain people who talk about other Arsenal transfers that they got in mind and ready just in case this isn't done, then yeah, you'll know there's quite a few in the pipeline as well. But because this has been the main focal point of this whole window and pre-window, okay, you gotta just assume that regardless of where it goes, they're going to pay for it. They'll just work out a different structure and pay in it. Like if you said, look, what I meant is the 65 is the maximum they should pay up front. That's what I think. I'm not saying that is the limit you should pay for the kid in regards to add-ons and stuff like that. And if Arsenal can come to an agreement where that is the amount that they can pay them up front and work it out over another period of time so that they've got more cash in the bank to maybe invest in some midfielders, some backline players as well, and even a forward, because there's some forwards that's available now, then that's what I mean. Don't break the bank on this and not have anything ready to back up the other positions, because you break the bank on Modric thinking, okay, we've got the forward line sorted out, and then Partey injured. Finished. That's finished. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I think the 65 mil, like, first of all, if we offer 65 mil up front, we get him.
Yeah, facts. Yeah. No, we offer that up front, we get him. Yeah, we get him.
No questions asked. Like, it wouldn't even be a question. We'll get him. But I think last deal we offered was what, 65 mil worth?
70 mil worth, 50 mil up front, I think.
Right. Okay, and we don't know how long those installments. Well, this is the same club. This is the same club Fred was at, right?
Yes.
And they got 59 million for Fred.
At the time, no one was going mad over it, though. I know we're looking at it now and it was saying it's wild, but at the time, Jeff, because obviously, because City wanted him as well. People were like, all right, if Pep wants him,
But that's what I'm saying. If you get 59 million for
for
Fred
Fred, you can
Smith,
get anything. Yeah,
then this
You know.
kid is coveted as like what they call him. I know they always come up with these nonsense names, but again, the Ukrainian Neymar or some
The
crap.
Ukrainian name, that's his nickname. Yeah, the
I hate
Ukrainian
those
name.
names.
Oh,
But
I hate them too. It's bad.
But nonetheless, like if he's your golden boy and you got 59 million for a guy who was just playing well, then in a way we have to respect the market. Like this isn't. I'm looking at the Pepe deal and it's different. Like the Pepe deal was a mistake. Like it was
Yeah,
we paid too much anyway, and time has shown that it didn't work. I wouldn't say it was a
yeah,
mistake. It just didn't work out.
didn't work
Like,
out. Yeah,
he seems like he'll be more comfortable with no pressure. If he goes back to France, he'll be fine. He'll do well at France.
Facts.
In France, he's just not built for this. But this Mudryk deal, like with what Arteta and Edu have been able to do, and they've changed the whole narrative. 9 months ago, they were
9,
one
yeah.
of the most hated duos. That's like, oh my god, Arteta this,
Yeah,
Edu stinks. He's useless. He's rubbish.
literally.
Now it's
Mad.
it's just
They
funny
were
how football
hated.
works. Yeah, because
Can
all
change
of a
quickly,
sudden,
man.
yeah, that your narrative changes that fast. Now Ben White is considered a success. Back end of last season, despite having a good year, he was a bad signing. Ramsdale too.
Yes, yeah.
Now Ramsdale's a good signing. Like Zinchenko, we know how that's helped transform the team in terms of passing between the lines. That guy, man, I even underestimated how much he would transform the team. Because
He changes our gameplay completely, bro.
yeah,
He's one of our best passes between the lines.
he's really good at it. Like, don't get me wrong, defensively, if you put in certain games, I'm still gonna take Tierney because I think Tierney is maybe the better left back. But in terms of the system, like that inverted fullback, Zinchenko is slept on. Now you think when City like having to play like Rico Lewis and whoever they have to play, why did you sell him?
City definitely miss him. They could definitely do with him, especially like with Cancelo being out of form. Like, because Cancelo is badly out of form. Like, he's taking his bad World Cup form into like I saw him yesterday. Obviously, it was his first game, but he was bad yesterday.
He has to snap out of it, man. Because he's like the normal. Like Cancelo is basically in another attacking mid when he's on form. Like he almost has a free role and just roams around, does what he wants. But yeah, he just doesn't look like he's comfortable. Another player, one of our players that is not being talked about as much, but one of our players who's got that World Cup like hangover is Saliba. He's got one.
He's got one. He does have one.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what's changed because he didn't actually play. But and don't get me wrong, it's just doesn't take nothing away. He's still amazing. He's one. We need to get that contract done. That trigger in the extra year. I know. I hate when they put those kind of things in the papers because now we triggered the extra year because.
Okay, cool.
So it won't be. Yeah, so I think it'll be 2024. It'll be gone. So it's nothing major. It's just the way it was reported. It makes it look like we actually done something. No, we just had our contractual obligation. We triggered a year. In terms of the new contract, we need to do that because he's still amazing. But we'll say this: that since he's come back, there's been 2 big mistakes that led to goals, and the person who has been slandered at the beginning of the season is not getting enough credit because Gabriel has been playing very, very well. Bar his small mistake, which Saliba made the final mistake against West Ham. Gabriel made the initial one, but apart from that, Gabriel has been solid as a rock.
He has. I've had no issue with Gabriel since, not just since the World Cup, even just the few games before, the 5 or 6 games before the World Cup, he was playing really well. Actually, a couple of mistakes that Saliba was making, actually, and he was covering for him. But listen, the thing is, I'm not Gabriel's biggest fan, but I already know of Gabriel. I can already see for him, it's too late. He will never have the fans fully on side. He's already got a stage where you can tell he will never get fully backed. no matter how well he plays.
It's kind of unfortunate how those things happen, man. Obviously, his fans right. Like, if you don't like someone, you don't like someone. Like, it's fine. But like, at the same time, like, if you're that solid a defender, like, don't get me wrong, he's got some things he needs to iron out of his game. He's a bit rash. Like, even the other day, like, you're looking for fights, and it's unnecessary. You're already winning the battle. You don't need to look for a fight. But like, it still needs to be highlighted that Gabriel has been the better centre back as of late.
He has.
Like, that has to be highlighted too, because the disrespect is high when it needs to be high. So he needs to keep the same energy when he's playing well. And same with Saliba. Like, he's still amazing. He's an amazing young player. Like, we need that contract done, no doubt about it. But the same way everyone was praising him, just accept that it's been a slight dip and he just needs to pick it back up. That's it.
That's the thing, and that's football, though. That's the football. Like, with how young he is, there was going to come. So at least
has to happen.
His mistakes, we're still in wins. So at least it's like, okay, buckle up, but we're still winning. But buckle up your ideas. So I'm not mad at him making mistakes. It's going to happen. Get through it.
Mm-hmm.
So big up Tom in the building. Hope you're good, my Rashman, like Jeff.
What's happening, Tom?
Saying, Rash, how many goals Kane he played for City?
Simple, 30 plus.
No doubt about it.
In the league, yeah?
Yeah, in the league.
I agree,
because, and the reason why I say this is because Kane ain't just a forward that just sits there and waits for through balls. Okay? He plays football. He's in the game. You know what I mean? If you include his gameplay, it's almost a guarantee 30 plus. He gets 20 plus and he's at Tottenham.
Kane is... I'm just to say this, Kane, he doesn't get enough respect. Like, I know, like, in England, like, you can say doesn't always turn up, like, in big moments. I won't say in the small moments, because he always turns up in the small moments. But the big moments, you can say, all right, there's a little question mark. Listen, that guy's finishing ability. He's one of the best shooters in the world.
Oh yeah,
like that goal. Who did they play? Was it Palace? The second goal. The second goal is ridiculous. Like, I don't think people realize how good a goal that is. Like, that first touch followed by that second touch, that's slept on. That's an amazing goal. Like, it really is. That's the finish.
And that's the thing. I mean, as much as you want to discredit Kane, you just can't. You know what I'm trying to say? Because he might have 2 games that are not so good, and everyone's be talking, oh, he's on a decline. Yeah, he's reached his peak. I've been guilty of it a couple times, couple years back. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But
he does that to people, man. He's a polarizing player, man.
Exactly. But then he'll show something that makes you go, wow, what a top talent. Like, he's still got so much
in him. Kane.
Harry Kane, yeah.
There's still so much about his gameplay, so much about his ability. The boy can pass brilliantly. Like, Kane can pass brilliantly. That is what slept on a lot. The boy is a sick passer, his intelligence, the way that he reads the game, and how he can kind of predict the movement of the defenders that are coming towards him as well. I mean, he must be one of the highest fouled players in the Premier League. And that's not because he's being fouled, it's because he lures them into situations where he can just take advantage of it. You know, so
that's his most underrated attribute. That to me is his best attribute. Like, even the way he goes past people. How are you so slow, but you take on anybody? Like, you take on anybody, get half a yard and shoot. Because let's talk about that. Palace first half outplayed Spurs. I don't know how they went ahead. Like, it didn't make any sense. Like, Zaha, Elise, even Ayew were causing them headache.
It was to the point when they went one ahead, I was just like, the way the game is, players are just gonna come back and smash them.
Yeah, but like, even that Elise guy, he's special, by the way. That second goal.
I like what he says.
He's special. Like, he's got something, but he's a special player. But yeah, like, even that first half, you're thinking, all right, Palace are gonna get this. Like, you're thinking the narrative is gonna continue that Conte is a complete and utter bum. Like, Spurs are useless. Like, you're just waiting for it, and then all of a sudden, Kane turns up, and before you know it, Palace are 4-0 behind in 22 minutes. You conceded 4 goals. You're like, how?
Yeah, Kane is
so much dominance go that way,
and that's why even when, as much as obviously you have to big him up, like all those goals that Haaland's banged in, We spoke about it a few weeks ago. Like I still had Kane above Haaland in my ranking just because like he's just a better footballer, and I know that Kane can score goals on a regular basis. And like you said, Rash, if he was at City, he's banging 30 plus league goals easy with the pens, with all the chances he's gonna get. Like Kane is clinical, like
Very.
and it's a shame because he's won nothing in his career because of the club he's played for. So at the end of his career, unless he moves, he's going to get disrespected because Kane is actually a top striker. I can't.
Very, very good. Like if you saw, I saw his record the other day, his Premier League record. It's 198 goals in 300 games. That's insane.
That's crazy.
That's mad.
Insane. Like because he's at Tottenham. It's not like
it's not like they're winning leagues and stuff.
Yeah, they're not doing anything. Like we know Spurs, like those 3 golden boots are the best things they won since 2008.
And they're gonna leave with him when he leaves.
And he runs. His contract runs out end of summer.
Nah. He's got like another. Wait, that's why he's got another.
Nah, he might have 18 months.
I think it's 2024.
18 months on his contract.
2024. Yeah, 2024.
Yeah. But like. That guy there, like 198 goals in 300 games, is slept on. That's a very, 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 very good record. That's very good.
Bro.
Yeah, man.
Kane is he's a top player, man. And but yeah, I mean, Spurs, unfortunately, your chances of success, as we know, are limited. Like, no offense to Spurs, but we just have to admit what the facts are. Like,
I'm gonna say that without Kulusevski. It sounds weird because he's only been at the team a year. They are not the same team.
No, they're not.
Like, it's too predictable. Like, same way you can say with Liverpool, that left-hand side becomes a little bit more tricky when you see no Diaz, just because the focus is on one side. Like, you want the Hollywood ball from Trent and some moment of magic from Salah. And if they're marked out of a game, you're looking to that left side, you're just looking at Robertson. Like, Oxlade, no. Like
I don't even know how Ox is still there, to be honest.
Because shout out to him.
Yeah, Tom saying Jeff knows ball.
Thank you,
equaling his best ever season so far, 15 and 18. Yeah, that's crazy.
Crazy.
And he ain't even had that many pens. If we had Odegaard, Kane would bang. He would, but your system doesn't even play with a 10. So with Conte's system is a 3-5-2. It's pretty strict like that. Or he likes a 3-4-3 when Kulusevski is fit. He likes a 3-4-3, but he plays Son more inverted and Kulusevski is a bit wider. But I mean, Odegaard with Kane in a proper system, that'll slap. And then he said, "Raw, we won the Audi Cup." Hey, bro, this
Audi Cup. Oh man. What is that? Is that like Emirates Cup?
We got the Audi Cup still. Now I think it's better than the Emirates Cup, but it's not for us.
No, why is it better than the Emirates Cup?
You know what? I'm just giving
I don't think it is. I mean, I don't know the teams who was playing in the Audi Cup.
Let's just go back to sponsor.
But you see the Emirates Cup here. I see real teams in that cup.
Yeah.
Let's just go back to sponsor. You were talking about a car dealer, or an airline.
Look, car dealer guy. How can we make some more money? Let's make a cup. What sort of teams to play in our cup? Tottenham. Them sort of teams.
Ed saying the Arsenal decline. Big up Ed saying the Arsenal decline starts here.
Yeah, shout out
this
Ed.
guy. Serious. I'm sure this is one of the guys who was saying this is the Jedi mind trick of opposing fans. We said this months ago. You wanted Arsenal fans to be categorically saying yes, Arsenal are going to win the league. So the moment it looks like we are not going to win the league, you can come back and laugh.
But this is the thing. You said this after United beat Arsenal. And after that, we just went 10 games unbeaten, 11 games unbeaten now. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So
yeah, still unbeaten. So
yeah.
Jeff, this is for you from Tom. He's asking Saka or Kulusevski.
Man, I hate this one, man, because
it's hard. This is a tough.
It's very tough. I think I answered this before. I think Saka is a better player all round. I think Kulusevski is a better wide forward, like the position they actually play. Like when it comes to end product, Kulusevski's end product for like assists and goals, I feel like it's slightly better. But you're talking about who has more impact on the game in 90 minutes, I feel like Saka has more impact on the game in 90 minutes. Like he'll trouble his fullback a little more all game.
No,
if that makes sense.
No, that does make sense. The Saka is more like a. The thing is, Kulusevski is excellent on the ball too, but I think Kulusevski is definitely better at shooting than Saka at finishing, and he's probably better at the final product. But Saka's more of like a slow build-up player, and he really brings others into the game.
Really well.
So and you can't measure that by stats.
Nah, and his dribbling is fake. Like the way he gets low and gets under people is mad.
What I've seen in the last few games from Saka, it's just blown me away. That kid is just brilliant. Like
special player, man.
He's leveled up more since he's come back from the World Cup. Like, and there can be time in the game where he won't even be in the game so much because he's being so heavily mocked. But the moment he gets the ball, you can see the panic in the opposition. The ideas in the head, bringing it line, stopping it, rolling it over. Is he gonna cut inside? They don't know. He fakes and cuts inside anyway. It does come. Like it's just his cerebral play is just unbelievable.
That's the right word. That's the right word.
So intelligent in the football game. You know what I mean? And
very intelligent.
It has just basically hit me in the last few games how good he is for his age. Because I've also clocked again how young he is, and I'm looking at people who I know who are that age, children and that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, wow, that's like you, man, being on here doing that. Like, that's crazy. Do you know what I mean? So, Kulusevski is another young top talent as well. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I think he's a sick baller. Be a brilliant addition to the Arsenal squad. He should say goodbye to Spurs, man, because if he's got ambition. I'm sorry to say this, Tom, but if he's got ambition, man, you got to show it. Don't be Kane out here. You know what I mean?
No, he won't do a Kane. Kulusevski won't do a Kane. If it's looking peak after 2-3 years, he's out.
And Son needs to do something and get out of there quick, because the way that he's been playing this season.
Son has been stinking out the face,
This is his first bad season in a while. Like
this is his first season, I think.
Pretty
first
much.
One he's had bits of gaps, but I actually think those gaps was when he went away. Actually, like I think he had to go away for a tournament or something like that mid-season.
Oh yeah, when he had to win it for South Korea, or was
that's the only time I remember Son being a Tottenham player not being in my head, on the tip of my tongue when we're talking about them. But this season, man, he can even barely get on the starting 11. You know what I'm trying to say at first, and now he's there, not really contributing much to a game like much he used to. It's like he's been found out, but I don't think it is. I think it's the lack of momentum of Tottenham and the horrible style of play that they have to play under.
That's what it is. It's I don't think he's lost it at all. I think you're right. I think it's like he's the striker. Like Kane drops in, and you kind of just leave Son just up there, and it's just like, all right, that works, but he needs to be involved in the game too. That's when he's most dangerous. You can't just leave him up there. You need to make sure he's incorporated in the game. So they desperately need a 10. Like if you get a 10, you see a different Son, you see a different Kulusevski. You can't just have Højbjerg and Bissouma and Bentancur.
They get a 10. Well, Conte even play that side of football anyway?
This is the thing. I'm not sure.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? So who's really going to go there except for centre mids?
Exactly. Conte signed Eriksen at Inter Milan, didn't play him.
Yeah, he just benched him.
He just benched him.
Conte is crazy. Like, his style is his style, isn't it?
Was Ramsey there as well under Conte?
Ramsey. I don't think Ramsey was.
I think he was gone by that point. I think he's at Chelsea by that point.
No, yeah, because wait, you talking about the Juve Ramsey, Arsenal Ramsey?
Yeah.
You talk about the Arsenal Ramsey.
No, where did you go?
You went Juve.
Yeah. Okay, I must have got mistaken, but But yeah, man. But anyway, I think Son and got his goal and Spurs got a great win just before the North London derby. It's funny how these things always work.
all the time.
So yeah, big next weekend's a big weekend for the Prem. Like we got City going to Old Trafford, and then we got Arsenal going to Spurs the day after. So
It's
that's
a
City.
firing
That's
Spurs.
City United game.
All of a sudden, it's a firing Spurs.
All of a sudden,
Just like that.
and
Just like that.
Just like that.
And you know they would have had the fire anyway to stop any kind of Arsenal title charge.
Mhm.
So now, depending on what City do, because if City go to United and win at Old Trafford, like that's significant.
Man, I've never been praying for Chelsea to get a point like I was yesterday.
Bro, Chelsea are bad though.
I've never been rooting for these guys, bro.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
I just,
All right, let's just say this: did we dodge a bullet with Aubameyang?
Yep.
That in the end,
Bro, he's washed, bro. He's just totally washed. Like his peak. I feel for him.
It's deep, man. Because it's deep because at Barca he looked okay. Like he still looked like Aubameyang. He could finish.
Yeah,
All of a sudden, he comes to Chelsea and he looks terrible. And he's playing right wing. It's like, oh man, like we know how it was with him at left wing. Like he doesn't track back, but he's gonna give you a goal normally. But he didn't even get a shot off. Like he was poor.
He was terrible. Chelsea is just watching them yesterday. Obviously, Sterling getting injured at the beginning. I feel for him, man. Going Chelsea, just looking at the more and more wrong move every single day, man. Like obviously the injury's unlucky. You can't play a part in that, but just the move is going bad for him. Like I know Chelsea fans are not impressed with him at all as well. So it just, you know what it's like with Sterling. He's never going to have much leeway anyway.
Nope.
But then there's some other guys like Havertz. I'm completely done with him. Like I'm done with Havertz, man. I'm sorry.
Man, like this is he's one of those like he's a really good player, but the system is all wrong. He shouldn't be playing up there alone.
Bro, he was playing as a 10 yesterday.
Why is he playing?
Bro, he was playing as a 10 yesterday. He wasn't playing as a 9.
Well, but even the 10, who was in front of him?
Aubameyang was supposed to be.
Exactly, but he
ended up as
Sterling cut. He had to go on the right.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, the system is a joke, but still, Havertz, no, man.
That's why. Can you really? All right, let's put. I don't. I even said on one of these shows, I think Havertz is one of those players that can really fall by the wayside because he just doesn't seem to have an assigned position. But at the same time, can you really blame all of those players if you've had weird tactics for the past 18 months? Like Mount is a certain kind of player. If you can't get the best out of Mount, Kovacic, there's a bunch of players that are not getting the best out of. The player who's shining the most is the 38-year-old at the back.
I think, though, really, Jeff, to be fair, I think in regards to Chelsea, I think it's been kind of like a slow burner. I saw some signs yesterday in like some really good football that they were playing, and even their defensive play. At first, I think they were a bit too slow to have a bit of high intensity in the press with City, but then towards the last third of the game, that kind of picked up, and you could see like some really good play from Chelsea. And I think if they just have like a couple more months of under Potter, and I hope he gets it, they could really become a really good squad under him. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And you'll see what players can fit in what positions, and they would have got a better knowledge of how he wants to play the game as well, and they would have fitted into probably those roles through a lot of training sessions by then. I reckon they just need to give Potter time. Do you know what I mean?
That's a fact.
They can't be on an instant gratification one with this one because we know he's a top manager. We know that Chelsea have got the players to be something. They just need someone to be able to manipulate them the way that they need to be. And I think he's that guy. He just needs the time. I saw elements in their gameplay yesterday. I was like, actually, that's kind of good. See, better be careful. You know what I mean?
It's also some of these over the hill players that they got, or not even over the hill, like just in mentality, like they seem like they don't want to be there. Get them out. And it seems like Chelsea are just heavily reliant on fullbacks too, because the same way you can say, Liverpool just need Trent, Chelsea need James, and they also need Chilwell. Like Sterling That's why I can't say it's a bad move yet. Sterling benefits from a good overlapping fullback. That's what he does. Like when he has that decoy run, he'll start to cause havoc. And when you have a good crosser, you always there. You've seen how many times he did it for City. He just pops up back post and taps it in because there's good deliveries. If you have Reece James on the other side crossing the way he crosses, Sterling will be better off for it. Mm-hmm. It's just like Rash said, he's not wrong. Like they just need a little bit of time with Potter, and they need to. I don't know if the Mudryk signing is him. It probably isn't. It's probably just Todd Boehly guy.
It'll be a great addition for them, though.
Yes. I don't know. I don't know how he wants to play, so I can't say he would be.
Do you know what? Do you know what annoys the hell out of me? The fall of Gallagher. What happened to that guy, man? He's
getting a system, man.
Man, but even since he's even went back to Chelsea, yeah. He just looks erratic. His performance ain't good. His gameplay, like he doesn't think about.
I think it's like, I think he's over. I think it might have been English fans overrated him too, like a little bit too much. Like the normal, but also I can't fully blame him because he's not a footballer. Like when I say that, like he's not a very, very technical player. He's one of those guys who's a really, really good workhorse. He can break things up and he can pop up with a few goals, maybe 8 to 10 a season if you're lucky. Like he's one of those kind of players. But again, he benefits from a certain system. Like Palace. Like it was a new like that Vieira thing was new. Like he really benefited like in that trio he was playing with. He was like the one to go and get things done, and he was getting things done. It's just Chelsea are in this weird in-between spot where we don't really know what they're doing yet. Like Potter's style hasn't shone through yet. So he's not like a seasoned player. He's still a kid, like 22, 23. So he needs direction, man. Like he's not really one of those who can just go and get stuff done by himself.
Yeah. Nah, the thing with Chelsea as well is that they're signing hella man, but it's like you look at the profile of players, and when they're signing these players, you know, like, oh yeah, that makes sense. You're just like, okay, that's a good player. Where's he gonna go? And that's why I can just imagine there being a lack of harmony in Chelsea's squad, just because they're like random players that are just here, like, and they're just Ziyech. You look at him when he comes on, he looks like he can't be bothered.
Yeah.
So Zachariah was good the other day. Sorry, Rash?
You just have to look at it and say, okay, when was the last time did Chelsea buy a player and he developed into a better player? When was the last time?
Years.
That they bought someone and they actually got better.
And they actually got better than the day they bought him. I can't think
the last player is maybe Hazard.
That's what I was literally going to say.
I was going to say Hazard, but there's no way it's him. Who else is it?
Who was the last one?
Fabregas was ready. Diego Costa was Costa already.
I was going to say Diego Costa, but he was ready already.
And he hasn't got. He hasn't. Yeah. He was already a bully.
Kovacic, you can say, has maybe regressed a little bit since he got there. Like
he's probably stayed the same, to be honest. Kovacic, they haven't even got the best out of him. He's probably stayed the same.
Kante was Kante.
Jesus, it actually might be Hazard.
Let's really think about it. Really think about
it. Real talk. Who have they made better? I'm trying to look at their 11 now. Reece James, we know he came through the academy, so he doesn't count.
Yeah,
Fabregas was Fabregas when he joined.
Fabregas was Fabregas. Kante was Kante. Costa was Costa. Lukaku, they made him worse. Havertz regressed. Ziyech regressed. Sterling regressed. Aubameyang.
Pulisic, who's he now?
Pulisic, who is he now?
Man,
you might have a point still.
So Chelsea it's always been a mercenary club, innit? For the past 20 years, they buy, and it works. Like
they signed Hazard in 2012, bro.
2012,
11 years, bro. We're talking about they haven't improved the signing. That don't make sense.
They buy. They bully their way in the market, man. Like this Todd Boehly guy is trying what Abramovich did, but Abramovich did it in a time where there was no real FFP. You were spending a clear 100 mil a season, and it was a new project. Like they got like Makelele's and whoever in the first season, like when they wanted, man, they got them. Like, and there was success when you got Mourinho, and that marriage worked. It was non-stop leagues. They won what six leagues in the past 20 years or something like that.
Yeah, 5 leagues, I think.
5 leagues. That's a good return. Like 5 leagues out.
1 and 4.
Yeah, a 25% return in leagues. You won a Champions League, you won UEFA Cups or Europa Leagues, whatever you want to call it. You won numerous FA Cups, numerous League Cups. But that whole thing of like just buy changed. You can't just do that anymore. Like there has to be some aim with the money. You can't just buy whoever
like
you want.
What he's doing now, though.
You spam like even the Mudryk one, like same way we said they could work for them. It just shows you have no plan. Like you're basically just like you're just a sloppy second team now, man. Like you see your brethren go lipstick girl in the club.
We don't know what to do. Oh, he must be good. Let's go for that. You. Why he must be good. Let's go for him. That's what it looks like they're doing.
Like, you know, it's like when like you got your brethren who don't really know about girls, and you like a girl, so he likes a girl.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. He's like, oh yeah, you think she's nice, yeah? And he might have money. So he just goes and buys the girl, like buys her champagne, buys her Chanel bags, and he gets the girl. But the girl really likes you.
So it's sticky.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that. It's a mess.
Yeah, Chelsea right now, like, if I was Mudryk's agent, obviously there might be some more money in it for me. But realistically, if I've actually got your best career interests at heart, I'll be like, brother, if you're not going Arsenal, don't go Chelsea. Like,
exactly. If I was his agent, these are the conversations I'll be having. These are the areas I'll be looking at. Development, what it looks for you in the future, what it looks like for you in a year and a half. Not even a year, not even 2 years, 3 years. A year and a half. A year and a half, it could be all over for you.
Real talk.
It ain't like you're Sterling and you've got a decade in the Prem and you've done dirt. Like you got 4 or 5 leagues. You're already who you are. Like there's not much you can do to like edit your trajectory in your career. You're who you are.
That's true.
Mudryk is 21. Like his next move is his most important move realistically. Like he has to make the right move now. So you're right. Like if it's not Arsenal or not a team that has his best interests at heart, stay there.
Stay the hell there, bro. I think it's got like another 2 years on his contract. Stay there, man. Stay there.
I had one question on City. Yeah, I had one question on City. So, who works better for Haaland, Foden or Grealish?
From what I've seen in chemistry, it looks like Foden.
You say Foden?
I actually think it's Grealish.
I would say Grealish.
I think Grealish's style of play and the way that he's always looking for the man in the middle, it helps him more in that way, and that's what. It is. But I think Foden and Haaland up front together look really good.
Okay.
My problem is he needs to stop playing Foden on the left. It doesn't work. Put Foden on the right or something, or try him in like one of the free midfield positions. But on the left, it restricts him so much because he hasn't got the burning speed to take a man on the outside. So then he's forced to come back. So like I just think it kills him because if you think about it, Haaland doesn't really come deep to get the ball. So if you're Foden, you're getting the ball on the left now. The striker's not coming to you. You can't go on the outside. We know the way City play. The midfielders flat. Yeah. So it's like the fullbacks are not really overlapping anymore. So it's kind of like a bit relying on you to make something happen, be able to drive the ball. But it's harder when you haven't got that speed and you're on your side of your weaker foot. That's why we always say, we've talked about it before, guys that know how to play on the side of their strong foot, those are real classic wingers.
But if you was looking at City as well, man, if you're looking at City like from like let's just say from game week 3 to game week 9,
yeah.
Foden and Haaland was cameoing together.
They were, that's true.
They were crazy games for City, like wild.
Yeah, they were punching teams up, man.
Haaland was scoring, Foden was scoring. It was crazy, man. I think that me seeing what it can be and what it has, what its potential has made me. That to me is better than anything that I've seen Grealish and Haaland do. Even though I know Grealish could probably do more in a game in regards to a build up and all those things like that, and picking out the man. I reckon he could probably do a better job than Foden in regards to that. But from seeing that, I'm just like, what can be that? I ain't seen nothing that can better that, so it has to be that. So I understand why Pep keeps returning to that. You know what I mean?
No, I do get it because it has worked before. I wouldn't even mind if Pep went to like a Foden on the right, Grealish on the left type of thing, and then
Try
seeing
that
how
because
that looks.
That
at the
was
moment,
so attacking, boy. Jeez.
yeah, because even think about Foden past 5-6 games, he hasn't started. Like
No.
I think he started this game, like last game, and got dragged to 59th.
Yeah, and I only think he started this game because people was like, "Yo,
the noise."
Even Pep kind of hinted at that.
It's the noise, because Pep, like a lot of his decisions, he just I think he just makes impulse decisions that work. Like he has one of those inklings. He has a inkling that I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah,
He doesn't. There's not like a specific reason. Like even when they say like the 2-3-5 or whatever, he say that's just what he knows. Like he doesn't actually know why he does it. It just seems to work, and he's stuck with it. So even like that's insane when you think about it. But
yeah,
it works. But like the Foden thing, I don't know, man. Like I thought he was gonna be a dead start, and then all of a sudden he's just not playing. Now I think for City style, especially on that left side, like maybe you're right, Foden just needs to go back to the right. But that left side, as much as Grealish is a weird case study. Like he probably helps the team because he's like possession based to a degree. Like he keeps the ball, but it helps Haaland a little bit more just because he's one of those, man. He'll look for Haaland. Like
definitely. He's not trying to score goals. He's trying to look for the forward.
That's it. And maybe to the detriment of him, but it helps City, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But this is the reason why I think the left side is probably the side that Foden's going to have to try and get to grips with and try and work that way is because Mahrez coming on. Bruv. Mahrez is always Mahrez, regardless. He's too
Mahrez.
He reads through players like a sewing needle, bruv. Like it's a joke the way he can't be stopped sometimes. I don't even see the gaps he gets into. I'm like, how do you even do that? Like, and then you got the other alternative, Bernardo Silva as well, bruv.
Yeah, even when he went to the start of it, was like, you could already see Cucurella's not on it anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Like, he got taught a good old fashioned lesson.
He was getting
he got cooked.
Yeah, he stopped defending. He said, "I'm just lunging now. Forget that." You see it. There was a way after he kept on getting you can see his hair keep going in different directions. Yeah, throughout the game.
Oh my God.
Man just said, "I'm just slide tackling." Forget.
Nah, I haven't seen the guy get cooked like that in a minute, man.
Yeah,
he was lucky the score was 1-0.
It's nice to see.
Yeah. He got assaulted out there. Like Mahrez still plays like he's in the playground or on the street. Like he plays block football still, man. It's like he just goes off the cuff. Like Pep has like a certain style he wants his wingers to have. When he brings Mahrez on, Mahrez says, "My guy, I play how I play. Now, I'm not gonna play how you play. He'll just dive past
even when Bernardo was on, he gave up by then because Bernardo had him.
When Bernardo cooked him just before he went off.
Yeah, like it was. I was just like, oh, and then he's gonna come off, and then someone else is gonna twist you up. He gave up.
Imagine what that does for your confidence. The man who's coming off cooked you. The guy who came on cooked you.
And then you get replaced by an academy player when you were bought for.
Oh my God!
The goal was his fault too.
It was. Well, him and
Kepa. Kepa is oh my God.
Yeah. But you know what? Mind you, I think it did take a touch on its way in. You know, I think I did see that on the replay, and it wasn't even mentioned. It wasn't even mentioned by the commentators. But when the ball came in, it looked like it took a
went straight through. Kepa just let it go.
I thought it took a touch on the shin of Thiago.
Oh, Thiago Silva.
Yeah, and then meant like that, and then. Because if you look at Cucurella, he kind of stopped to see if he can play him onside. Offside. Yeah.
That's scary though. I
Yeah,
can't lie,
exactly.
that's scary.
But then he moved forward anyway because he saw the defender's leg come out. So it's like he anticipated maybe there will be a touch, and there was a touch. He wouldn't have been offside anyway, even if he scored. And yeah, it was just too late.
You know what is? Even if it did take a touch, Kepa was right by the ball.
Kepa's shit.
Like, he is. Like, it doesn't matter what he does. Like, I'm not even the biggest fan of Mendy. Mendy's better than him.
Yeah.
Big up.
I actually don't know why Kepa's playing.
I think Mendy might be injured, but big up MJ Gruner in the building. Hope you're good, my bro. Saying, but shitty Chelsea at City for most of the first half. Question: you reckon Arsenal can get something against City? Definitely at home, 100%.
We were close last season.
I don't see any reason why not.
Do you know what? City don't look scary to me. They just look like a team that knows. They just look like a team who knows what they're about. So they're very direct in their approach now. Like, look, like their passing is slick, it's sharp, their movement is good. They know what their worth is and what they can do. I just think sometimes they believe in themselves a bit too much, and they don't have the sense of urgency enough sometimes. But once they get a goal in, you got to close up, because once a goal in, that's it. They just fire more and more and more and more. I'm worried about City, Arsenal, but I think Arsenal can contain them by giving them a taste of their own medicine. If they can be the ones who dominate the majority of the ball and have them pin back, it might be better. But we've also seen Arsenal play City where they allow City to have the gameplay and catch them on the counter-attack as well, and it's worked very well for a certain amount of time in the game, until maybe a Xhaka gets a red card or something like that. But let's just pray none of those sort of things happen, and it'll be a good game. Because you know what? Sorry to go on. One thing that I was highly anticipating against Newcastle was a very good game. I knew it was going to be a good game. Two high-flying teams doing very well right now. Newcastle was 12 unbeaten coming into it. Arsenal was 10 unbeaten coming into it. It was just going to like for a very, very good game full of action. And I was expecting, you know what, if we get a point from the game, that's still a good result, because these are a good team. And I think the same sort of approach has to be taken with City as well. I mean, if we get a point, that's still a great point that we got from City. But it's going to be a good back and forth game. It's going to be it's the type of football that you want to see in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? The best go at it. And why don't you want it to be as competitive as it can be?
Yeah, I think Arsenal, like, based on what we did last season against them, like, they were 94th minute winner they got. Like, we played really well until we got a red card.
For the last 30.
Yeah, like we were playing really, really well. Like, we probably had their number. So it all depends, because I think City's problem at the moment is they're too reliant on the Haaland one way of football. Like,
way of playing, yeah.
And I still don't think the midfield understand him yet. Like the runs he makes, there's even a few times that Rodri, there was a pass he could have made where Haaland is right there and he went wide.
Back. Yeah.
And that got on my nerves, and it's to the point where I was thinking, did he really not see that? Because
Haaland's he's looking around like, what? Like, did you see the run I made? Like, so it's one of those that they still don't understand each other, and City are then too reliant on the striker, because it's like, all right, we haven't had a striker in 2 years pretty much, because Aguero didn't play last season. They had no striker last season. The year before, Aguero was kind of in and out anyway. So it's been like 2 years. So it seems like they're only playing that one style. But if they remember that last season they won the title without a striker and they mix it up, we're in trouble.
Facts.
Because, like, if they remember, if it's not working with Haaland, we know we can just win it playing how we normally play. Then everyone's in trouble, because Haaland scored 21 goals in a team that's not really fully synced yet. Like, he's already on 21 goals already. So imagine when they sync properly, and like the only person who seems to some way be on his wavelength is De Bruyne, and that's some way. Like, Grealish tries to pass to him.
De Bruyne's natural instinct is when he gets the ball, where's Haaland first? That's his natural instinct. Everyone else's natural instinct is not that. outside of maybe Grealish, maybe, but it's mainly just De Bruyne who thinks about that. But big up Emir in the building. Hope you're good and blessed. Saying Arsenal are a better team than City right now. I know you're hiding your eyes there. Say it with your chest. Don't be scared. If you believe it, you believe it.
Yeah, stand on it, bro.
United will catch City too. Okay, that's a bit wild.
Whoa.
Whoa. That's a Mancunian thing. I don't care. That's your business.
I mean, Man United did win 3-0 against Bournemouth. They are 4 points behind City, 9 points behind us.
They look good sometimes, and then sometimes I'm just like, you got a lot to do.
You know what it is? If they buy a striker, we're in trouble because like Ronaldo's gone. Martial is forget him. Huh?
Well, if
I
they
think
get
they need a striker answer. I was gonna say a right winger, but they just bought one. But oh man, I don't rate Anthony at all. My God. But yeah, they'll definitely get a striker for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
but they're one of the only other clubs in for Felix, other than us.
See, I don't want Felix going there, bro.
No, you make them a lot better.
And that's one of the things that I brought up as well, and that's one of the things that's going to hurt as well. Is that obviously the Felix still ain't too attractive, like financially.
21 mil for a loan.
But then imagine if he goes to United and mashes up the place. I know I'm going to be like, nah, we did it again.
I think it's one timing, of those mad ones, bro. It's deep, man, because it's timing. Like, because if this was in July, I'd say do what you need to do to get Felix.
Yeah,
but
fact.
You have to get him. Now it's just like, okay, like you bought Jesus for this purpose. Now, if you get Felix on loan and he works, you kind of then have to go spend the money. Like if he's 20 mil and they're willing to loan for 20 mil, you could probably buy him for 90. Then it's just like, all right.
But the thing is, Atletico don't want to add the obligation clause because they want to see how he does in the loan. Because if he does well, they can bump up the price even more. That's what they want to do.
Smart.
So I hear what they want to do, but I think one guy we can praise in Man United is Casemiro. He's made
bro. He's outstanding, man. That kid, he's outstanding, you know.
Casemiro's a joke.
When using teacher language, he's outstanding, bro.
Casemiro is a dumb player.
He's intercepting balls on his chest. Like they're trying to play passes. He's just all right. No problem.
I got this.
He's passing, like he's scoring goals, like he's assisting, like nah.
Man,
Casemiro is showing how good Modric and Kroos are. Because when he was at Madrid, them man made him look ordinary.
Average, yeah.
I
actually didn't rate him. I didn't rate him because I was constantly comparing him to them.
Literally, I was doing the same.
Yeah, now you have way more respect for him because this guy just understood his role. It's like, all right, you guys are the footballers in this team. I'm here to break stuff up. I don't care what I gotta do. I'm gonna break somebody in here, and then I'll give the ball to you lot. But then when I can play, when I have the opportunity to play football, don't forget I can play.
Oh,
that's what he's showing. Like, because he's trying, like he's done a lot. Him, Ericsson, Ericsson, he might go down the signing of the season.
Bro, he
was free.
Yeah, he was free. The fact he was free is mad. The fact he was free is mad.
Yeah, I understand why, but he's turned out to be brilliant.
Brilliant. Great.
Even Bruno's playing better.
Bruno is playing better, but I don't care.
Oh shit!
I had to look at you like I was looking at my son.
I don't care. It was a strong.
I hear it. I'm still not Bruno's biggest fan, but I gotta give him credit where credit is due. Rashford's on mad form right now.
Rashford is looking like the old Rashford.
Martial's done. I think he's gonna become a bench player.
As he should.
As he should. That. Anthony is.
I'll say this about Anthony. Yeah, I'll give him the same amount. I'll give him 18 months as I normally do. But the early signs, they don't look good.
But early signs, he looks worse than Pepe. I don't care what anyone says. Early signs, he looks worse than Pepe. But he doesn't look like he can take on his man.
You know, he's another one of those, man. You got all the tricks in the world, but you need to be scared to take someone on. Like, it's like he needs to have a gun to his head to run past somebody. Like, when he has a gun to his head, he'll take on 2-3 man.
Well, wait, Jeff,
you know what?
Isn't this something that is actually becoming habituous at Manchester United? Look what happened to Sancho. He's terrified to take on a man. Yeah, I've seen it before at that same place, bro. Yeah, something's going on over there. I don't know if at training they're getting broken every time they try to take a man on or something like that. But they are shy, very shy at the moment.
Yeah, Anthony needs to wake up, man.
Yeah, Ed saying Bruno still ain't it.
Sure,
ouch.
And MJ Bruno saying Man United trying to give Anthony praise like he's gonna light up soon. Anthony's as shit as Pepe. So in capitals as well. But you know what it is about like Anthony, in my opinion, right? And I don't know if it's similar to Sancho. Anthony's got skills, right? Like he can do a skills. But most of those are from a standing position.
He's not dynamic with it.
That's what I'm saying. Like when you look at the real ballers, if we go back, obviously I'm not comparing anyone to like a Ronaldinho or anything. But look at the way Ronaldinho dribbles. As soon as he gets the ball, he's able to run with the ball and still be able to do their moves on the run.
Wait. Did you say he's skillful standing still?
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah. No, he's actually right though. Like
I know, but that's what's so funny because you're right, bro. That is mad.
A lot of these new wingers, this is what they do though. They're like great at like the static skills, yeah.
Yes,
but the dynamic
business.
Yeah, man. Like you know what Sancho is? Sancho is like Ribery,
but without the ability to actually take on the man. Because Ribery,
but not much. Ribery is another.
Ribery could, Jeff. Ribery could,
but he could. But he's another safe winger. Like Ribery's whole career, is kind of predicated on being safe. Like he'll run with the ball, pass inside. Right, he might get the ball back. He might do something like good out wide, but he's not burning, man. He'll just get crosses.
Ribery could run with the ball better than Sancho can.
Yeah, you can.
That's what made him more dynamic.
Yeah. I get it. Now Sancho,
stylistically, I do get that comparison. That's a very good comparison stylistically.
Yeah, they're like possession-based wingers.
Possession-based wingers, yes.
Yeah, it's
even look. Saka's a possession-based winger.
But yeah, he'll
he
burn,
can carry the ball and pin people back. That's what I'm saying. Part of being a winger is being able to carry the ball and pin people back. You're not even exactly taking them on. But it's that thing that when you get the ball, people ain't jumping in on you like that because they're like, yo, if I jump in too quick, you might do a little feint.
Skip me.
Skip me, and now you can run with the ball. But these men, like you said, like your Anthony, your Sanchos, they're beautiful standing still. And you're like, wow, these guys are mad talented. But then when you actually got to take on your man, I don't know, man. I don't see it.
I'll give him.
People compare him to Mahrez. I don't want to hear it. When he joined, didn't it?
No, let's not do that. I'll say Anthony is still a real good talent, but let's just see what he does because real good talents can fail too. Like Sancho, again, like it's for him, it just seems like it's also a mentality thing. Like to me, he needs to put on some size. Like he needs to get strong because he's too
weird. Because didn't he go away to lose weight?
Yeah.
And get his mind right. Yeah, he probably won't play for another month or so, man. Because
that's crazy.
Ten Hag is his what he's done there is slept on too. He's done a good job so far, man. Like just in terms of getting their mentality right, like the Ronaldo thing. Then when they got destroyed by Bournemouth, he said, "You're coming to run," and then people were saying, "Oh, it's too harsh." No. You're here to do a job. I'm here to do a job. If you lose 4-0 against a team you should beat 4-0, we're going to run. And he's right.
Yeah, Max. That's true.
Rightfully said, though, by Amir in the comments, is that United have won their last 4 games. You know, if they win the next one, they're a point behind City. So
that's facts. No, 100%.
See how quick things change. Like all of a sudden, Shaw is looking like 2015 Shaw. He's fit again. You see, these new players' mentalities are so fragile, man, because Mourinho was calling Shaw fat, rightly so. You were fat. You're overweight to play the position you're playing in. He took it to heart. He's upset. He wasn't playing well. Now all of a sudden you give him a back rub and he's back flying down the left wing again. It's just like, wait, what? Because this Shaw is scary. Like that goal the other day that was a scary goal. Like he ran 50, 60 yards with the ball, played it out wide, got in the box and finished on his right foot. Like what?
That was a great goal still, but and that's the maddest thing. If United beat City and then they got Arsenal after that, they win that, and it's like, raw, like it's looking mad all of a sudden, and then crazy talk is gonna start. But man. But it's funny, like you mentioned the Ronaldo thing. Obviously, he signed for Al Nassr now.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about that briefly before we wrap up. Obviously, likes. But yeah, man, it's effectively a retirement move. Let's be honest about that.
Pretty much.
So yeah, man. What? I don't know. We looking back on Ronaldo's career now. Like, what are we saying? Like, is that?
Look. And I'm gonna stand up because I feel like I have to be the guy to do it. Yeah. The guy has achieved so much in his career.
Mm-hmm.
He is an elite player, and in many eyes, the GOAT. Okay, He's done everything you can do, bar win the World Cup.
Win the World Cup. Yeah.
When famous players from the past went to America, okay, to go and do their thing. America was a pants league too. They wasn't what they were now.
Agreed.
I'm trying to say they were garbage, and everyone had these same sort of things. How can you go somewhere like that when you're this talented? But I think I even saw a post come out and says it reminded us of that David Beckham took a pay cut.
Yes, to go over
to the Galaxy. Yeah. But in the contract, there's other deals going on.
Endorsement deals, on
ownership, endorsements, rights, to revenue. Do you know what I'm trying to say? You don't know what's going on behind. And to be able to be at a level, and I don't care, to be able to be at a level where you can do business with Saudi Arabia, earn yourself 200 million a year doing it.
I respect it.
And that's just the football part. You don't know what. Are you mad? Don't disrespect Ronaldo. Yeah, salute that man. Yeah, salute that man. He's just certified generations of money for his family and whoever he cares about. Are you crazy? And it's not going to be the thing that is, you ruined your legacy. He's now going to become the face of football in the Middle East. He's going to be the face of football over there. Yeah. So he's wherever he goes, he's a brand. But now he's going to be a brand to people, not only to people who already admire him, but who's now coming into the footballing world. He's going to be the ambassador of that. Bro, people can say, bro, he's 38 or something like that. Bro, let man go, earn his piece, cement legacy, be an ambassador for probably the 20th country now. Let him do his thing. Salute that man. Yeah, stop comparing him to Messi's accomplishments. Still remember Ronaldo, the man, and what he's done, and also what he stands for as well. I rate him, and I rate his values too. So I don't care. Ronaldo's a G. Salute to you.
I think that's just before you go, Jeff. I think that's spot on that you said that, because Ronaldo's been holding mad corn recently, especially since Messi won the World Cup. And don't get me wrong, that Piers Morgan interview, we can all agree it wasn't the best move. It was wrong. We can agree on that. But players are allowed to make mistakes. And, you know, that one bad incident in that moment, and obviously the last few months at United, doesn't take away from the 15 to 18-year brilliant career that Ronaldo's had. And like you said, he's accomplished everything in the game, won everything you can ever ask for except the World Cup. If he now wants, at almost 38 years old, which he is next month, to go and play in Saudi Arabia, make 200 million a year, I don't care how rich you are, 200 million a year is 200 million a year, to feel like the top guy again, which is a feeling he loves, which you'll have again, and to then in the same time, the same way David Beckham helped launch the MLS and make it what it is today, Ronaldo can have a similar impact in Saudi Arabia. And look how they welcomed him, the beautiful welcome, how nice it was in the stadium. Like those things are nice to see. So regardless of whether he's washed, because he is washed, he's not what he was. But regardless of that, let the man. He made his mistake over the last few months. Cool, it happened. But just remember what he was at his best, and now just let him do what he needs to do at the end of his career. Because, like, this is an era where we don't appreciate the great players, and as we get older, we're really going to see that players like Ronaldo will be fewer and far further between. So yeah, man. Big up Ronaldo and big up what you said, Rush. Like, yeah, people. We know a lot of people don't like him, but there's still a respect element that you need to have for the player he was, and just respect his decision. Like, it's not that deep.
Yeah, like business wise, great deal. Can't fault it. Yes, where you can, it's twofold. I can say this, like where you can see where some people would judge the deal a little bit is just because of the things he was saying in the interview about moving there. So that's where it's just
he was proven wrong.
Yeah, pretty much.
As soon as he thought better teams would, they didn't, and he went there in the end. It's life.
Yeah, he burned his bridge, and hey, man, it is what it is. Like the Beckham deal at the time, Beckham was 31 when he made that deal to go to LA Galaxy
from Real Madrid after just winning
Madrid.
Yeah, it was looked at like he was insane.
One of the best seasons I see Madrid have, brother.
Literally,
Ronnie and that, bro. Even Michael Owen and them man, they were there, bro. That was a dirty team.
And then you just think, bro, what? But Beckham was thinking a business. Like by that point, like Beckham was always business oriented. Like even when you're looking at when people call him Beckham dumb, he was playing off the dumb and making money. So you was like, all right, call me dumb, but he was the first to get image rights. No one had image rights. He got it. So how dumb is he? Like then 31, it's like you go to LA Galaxy, all right, 70% pay cut, but then he orchestrated a deal to make revenue off every MLS team, and then bought a discounted franchise club. He said, all right,
into Miami,
yeah. So MLS now is now a viable retirement league, pretty much. Like, or if you just want to go get some quick money, go over there. They'll pay you. And Beckham has a lot to do with that. In the last 15, how many players we've seen go there? Ibrahimovic, Rooney,
Thierry Henry, Lampard,
Giovinco,
Gerrard.
Ibrahimovic loves it out there. Bro.
Yeah, he's having fun.
He's having fun.
Or he's
leaving out there and bust it up. The Red Bull team or something.
New York Red Bull.
Carlos Vela went there in his prime.
Carlos Vela came back. He went there and came back, bro.
Came back,
bro.
So you can't knock it, man. Like if that's what Ronaldo, like even in a day, just the it's following already, but like in a day, I swear Al Nasser's social medias went from like 800,000 to like 6 million or something. Like
I think it's 10 now.
10. There you go. So even that, like his 177 million isn't for football. It's basically to be the ambassador for the league. I'm sure he's probably got something worked out similar to Beckham, where it's just like, all right, I'm gonna bring you the traction, but I need a piece of the pie, and it's probably gonna be bigger because Beckham orchestrated that. When you're the first one over the hill, you're probably getting less. And if Beckham was able to get revenue of every team, buy a team, and become a multi-billionaire, then what do you think Ronaldo is gonna do when he's already close to being a billionaire?
Yeah, and he's gonna be there like very soon.
If he's not there already, we don't know. Like,
this is what people aren't thinking about. Like, people would do so much to harm themselves for £100,000. Yeah,
for £100,
he's about to become a billionaire. Yeah, like with what you can do with that is just like. Come on, bud. You can't disrespect the man. He's putting himself in a sphere where most of us would love to be.
He's putting his pain, man. He's putting good 20 years of pain in Europe. He's become one of the best. Like he transitioned from a tricky winger to one of the most deadly forwards we've ever seen. So
you can't even say you've seen him. You can't even say you've seen him play a game and say that boy needs to work harder.
No.
He
For
works.
20 years, hard work he's been putting.
Yeah. And even like put it this way, all right, I know this season is what it was. At 36, 37, he scored 24 goals in the season.
If he'd left at that point, which he wanted to, there would have been no problem. There would have been no such disrespect.
They should have let him go.
They should have let him go. They should have let him go 100%. Obviously, what he did since then is not the best way to act. No one here is defending that. There are ways to act. He didn't act in the right way. There was a lot of selfish stuff. That's part of his character, unfortunately, especially as a top player. But that's how he is. But regardless, if I'm looking at it from a logic perspective, Ronaldo's realized that he's washed, right? And I'm being 200 million a year, and I am washed. And I don't have to touch my European legacy at all. I've won it all in England. I've won it all in Spain. I won Serie A in Italy. Why do I 200 mil a year in a country that's tax-free, alive?
Yeah, I believe it is. I might be wrong, but
yeah, but it is tax-free.
Oh, there you go.
And best believe me, yeah, he's putting himself in one of the best places to be right now in the world with all the economic problems that the world's going through. That is where you want to be, my friend. That's where you want to be.
How long till Saudi Arabian football is on Sky Sports or one of these platforms?
Bro, give it a year, bro.
And how long before Ronaldo? How long before you hear about Ronaldo takes 30% of that money or something like that?
Yeah.
Not long.
Yeah,
not long.
Don't be surprised to see Saudi Arabian football on one of these streaming platforms, even if it's not Sky, even if it's Amazon, and they're streaming all.
Hearing that great commentator that everyone loves so much.
I might actually watch his debut.
Oh yeah, I'm watching it.
That alone, and this is what we're talking about. See that there, right there. Man's gonna watch Al Nassr. If that's their name.
I don't know anything.
That's their name.
I see what I'm saying.
We're gonna watch Al Nassr go play a game because Ronaldo's there, and we didn't know Al Nassr existed 2 weeks ago.
Not one bit. And 200,000 people came out to watch him. Not to mention how many people probably watched online. 200,000 people there were watching him. So
that right there.
Hey, that's why you do the deal, man. Hey, salute to Ronaldo. Because
Big up LG in the building saying that's loving your podcast. Jeez, big up. Ed said, I do think he's gonna fall out of love for football. He'll realize how shit that league is. He's probably already has. This is all business. And if he can score a few penalties, a couple free kicks, get a couple step overs in, a couple C's in there. I mean, that's it,
listen,
man.
If you're gonna pay me 180 mil, and this is not counting whatever side, because I'm gonna assume he's made some side deals in there. You're just gonna pay me 180 million to be an ambassador, and I get to play football too. I'm in a hot country, and I'm just gonna enjoy. Hey, please believe I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Facts. Like Ronaldo will find his enjoyment in one way or another, man.
Facts.
So
100%.
So yeah, man. But yeah, man. Listen, people, it's been a great show. Let's just round it off very quickly with our man and fraud of the weekend. Of the week. Who are you guys going for your man and fraud of the weekend, Jeff? I'll start with you, bro.
Okay, so man of the weekend. Can I give it to two?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to Eddie Howe. I'm gonna give it to Rashford. So I'll give it to the two. So Eddie Howe, just because Newcastle, I'm gonna say are ahead of schedule. They look like they're gonna be a top 4 team now because Saint-Maximin has been injured and not playing, and he's their main outlet last season and for the past few seasons. He's not even featured properly yet, and
it's crazy.
He's injured. Yeah. Isak is injured, and they have been fighting through like this just with what they have. Like he's transformed Trippier. Trippier is looking like a fantastic right back right now. Like fantastic. Willock is looking like a great center mid. He stopped Martinelli every time, pretty much. Willock, like he's looking like a real good athlete. I don't think he would have worked at Arsenal, but he's looking good over there.
He was pretty good the other day, you know.
Yeah,
Quite good.
man. Like
He can
even
run with
that
the ball,
in
like.
transition, like the counter attack, he's a guy who's gonna be hard to stop, man, because he's quick. He's very quick.
I didn't
He's
realize
leggy.
he can run with the ball like them strides he has. Good strides. Still.
Yeah, man. So yeah, salute to Eddie Howe. Also, yeah, Rashford, just because he's another one of those players who like divides opinion. 1 minute he's finished, next minute he's not. But past this season, pretty much a lot of this season, say good 2-3 months of this season, he's looked like he's coming back into his own. So salute to him. Fraud of the week. I'm gonna have to say Kepa just for that goalie error. That goalie error was insane. Like to me, that's an error. Like because the ball is close to you. That there's no reason why you can't reach out and bring the ball into your body there. Like you just let it go. You know what? Kepa and Cucurella, because Cucurella,
I was gonna say.
oh my god, that was a bad pasting. Like you got pasted by 2 men, and then sub for Lewis Hall.
Yeah,
I know Cucurella wins. In fact, Kepa, you're off. It's just Cucurella by yourself. You deserve the limelight by yourself. You earned that. Well done.
it's bad. It's bad still. Rash, what are you saying?
All right. So there's a lot of nominees, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of nominees. Well, let's go for man of the week. All right, man of the week. There's a few. There's Martin Odegaard. There's Saka, who's had great games. There's some teams that have actually done quite well over the last few. I didn't expect them to as well. Unai Emery, shout out to you. Been doing good, man. But again, as Jeff said, I'm going to have to give it to Eddie Howe. And one of the things that Jeff left out is that when you've been taken over by a club and you've got money to spend, the fact that you still utilize the players that you have and build them and develop them into what he has done with them.
Great point.
It's like brilliant. Like amazing what he's done. He's even got a little bit of size on him. You can tell he's been eating well recently. You know what I'm saying?
He's gained some weight still.
But
that Newcastle salaries is doing him good still.
Yeah, but with someone who's pretty much got a blank check, okay, there's rules, but before the rules quickly was applied to Newcastle, he could have gone ham. He didn't. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He looked at the places where he needed to build, and he looked for the right players to invest in, and he's got it right, you know. And we were saying in 3 to 4 to 5 years, Newcastle's going to look like a good outfit, a threat to the league, and he's done it in a season and a half. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So you have to give that man his props, especially for bringing Liverpool, Newcastle to where they are right now. They're on the tails of City. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, their noses must be bleeding because they ain't seen these levels for ages. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So well done, Eddie Howe. But shout out to that man over there. So well done. For the frauds, there was a few that did come to mind. Klopp came to mind because somehow he ended up in the manager of the month thing, and that's fraud. It has to be fraud. Okay, so that's why he ended up there. All right. This Cucurella, he got toasted so many times yesterday that he gave up on the defensive position that he had. He gave up. He said, "Forget that. WrestleMania out here. Just throwing myself at man them now." That's all. Yeah,
like Cactus Jack.
It was so funny. It was just funny though. He wouldn't even take 3 steps backwards with a defender. It just
run in, bro.
It was funny. It was funny.
Cactus Jack, boy.
Bro, it was funny to watch. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, after a while, it's tired of his hair going in different directions. But I have to give it to, and help me with his name, the Leicester centre back who managed to bang 2 goals in. Listen.
How did I forget? FaZe.
Listen.
Yeah, FaZe.
Oh
yeah.
my god. 2 own goals in 1 game.
Bro. And he played poorly as well. Like
he stuck up the whole place.
For him.
The second own goal was
I wouldn't have wanted to show my face ever again. And you know what? Well done for his manager just leaving him on. Because if he took him off, yeah.
That might be the
If, you know, seriously, if you took him off, I don't
think
think his heart would be able to deal with playing in the Premier League.
Carrier stuff. It'd be like
Yeah.
carriers.
Yeah, like, but that was an awful game. You banged it, like you was winning against
How can you
Liverpool,
single-handedly change the
and
whole
they
team's
won
game?
because you banged. Every time he touched the ball, the crowd was going shoot, shoot. Imagine that. You're the defender touching the ball. In your
I don't know many defenders that could have.
shoot.
A hat-trick at Anfield. It's mad.
Bro.
He was on.
Like-
The commentator said he's on a hat trick. That's disrespectful.
When the commentators take the piss, you know it's bad. When the commentators start
Wow.
violating you, you know it's bad, bro.
Oh,
I call him David Luiz 2.0.
Bruv, I ain't
I
laughed.
don't even know if I've seen David Luiz do that.
I
you
ain't
know?
laughed for about
Nah,
4 days. I've
David
been
Luiz
sick
was
there,
solid
but
at least. But
that
that's
was funny. Remembering that guy right there, man. That's funny. Yeah, he's my forward of the week.
Phase.
Yeah.
Phase.
Right, that's a great shout from Rash. I even forgot about that.
I
think
forgot that was this week.
yeah,
A lot of football this week. A lot of football this week.
It was my man of the week.
I'm changing mine. It's him too.
Yeah, it's him too.
Yeah, he deserves that.
Yeah.
I feel sick.
My- Yeah, my man of the week. You know what? I'll go a bit left there, and I'll probably pick the Brighton guy, Matoma, because he's a baller.
Well,
Oi.
and I heard that we might be in for him. So watch this space.
Hey, okay, let's. Okay, I might take him. I can't lie. I like what I see from him.
He's
I like
cold.
He's really, really good.
Yeah,
Even his second goal that got chalked off.
Last game, didn't he? As well.
Yeah, he scored again
Last
against
game
Everton.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a problem. He's a real problem out there, man.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of Everton, that's the forward of the week, Lampard. I mean, come on, man.
Pace 4-1. God damn it.
Just sack him already. That fourth goal, yeah, the way Green passed it back to the striker.
Oh my God.
It actually looked on purpose. I can't even lie. It looked like he just said, you know what, score, man.
Yeah,
Need this guy
I
out.
want him out of here. I need him out of here.
Yeah, we need him out.
Because as someone who plays, like we all play ball. Like the pass he tried to make, he didn't really try and make it. Like
He didn't
put. There was no leg power in it because it was a long way back. That's a 40-yard ball back. He just swung his leg.
The ball went like 8 yards.
Bro, it was losing pace as it got to growth.
Make a mistake. You know when you make a mistake like that, your first reaction is to sprint like a madman to try and recover. If you look at him, he does the pass and he just stands like raw.
Yeah, it's like
Damn.
he moved back to run.
Yeah, Frank Lampard forward of the week with honourable shout to Face for the 2 own goal performance and bronze medal to Cucurella. So that's a hell of a
bronze.
Bronze medal to Cucurella, man.
Oh man, that's funny.
But yeah, man. Listen, people, it's been a great show. Great to be on the swing of things with the Prem. It's actually FA Cup weekend this week.
United are winning,
I think drawing now 1-1, isn't it?
Yeah, 1-1, I believe.
1-1. So yeah, make sure you smash the likes on this video. We're going to be back next week to either pick up the transfer news or look ahead to next weekend's Premier League games, which are massive, as we said, Old Trafford, Man United, Man City, and then next day after Tottenham, Arsenal, and the North London derby. So a massive, massive weekend. So do make sure you are subscribed to Raw Ball Talk if you're not subscribed to the channel now. If you haven't,
rest in peace, Pele. Sorry.
I was just gonna. Don't worry. I was gonna mention that. I was gonna mention that because obviously I was gonna say rest in peace, obviously to Gianluca Vialli as well. He passed away today. You know, what I'm saying Chelsea, Juve legend, Italy legend. So rest in peace to him, and obviously rest in peace, like you said, Jeff, man, to Pele. Like, I don't know, man. I think the only tribute I can give to Pele is that Pele is probably the first name that I heard about in football, and he's the name that is. I think Pele is one of the names in football that will live forever.
100%.
If he doesn't, it's a disservice to our generation because it means we wouldn't have carried his name on.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of what he was for us growing up and our parents growing up, like Pele, man, like there's no, I don't know, man. I don't even know what else to add. Like he's like the godfather of football, and that
there's no real
icon, man.
There's no real comparison to his. There's no real comparison to him And
is,
it's because of who he was as the man as well, and what he had done for the people in Brazil, what he has done for the black people in Brazil, what
black
he's
people.
done
So
for the
yeah,
infrastructure of Brazil, what he's done for football. Yeah, and his
A lot.
legacy in itself. We saw nothing like him until he came. Do you understand? And you look at those old black and white movies, black and white footage, some of them. Do you know what I mean? And you just see the skills that he's putting off there. They are being pulled off today. And when they are pulled off today, we are mesmerized. This guy was doing it on bobbled pitches that didn't have lawnmowers. You know, I'm trying to say, laces,
playing with leather balls, the mad
Liverpool.
hard.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like he was playing in the time that goalkeepers didn't use gloves. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like that era of football, and he was doing this amazing, these amazing things and these amazing skills and scoring these amazing goals and creating brilliant memories and footage for us later on in down the years to be able to admire. You know, as I've said on this podcast many times before, and Jalil has my first football DVD was Pele DVD, not DVD,
Mine
video, sorry, VHS. Yeah, it was a Pele. Yeah, and you see it from back then. And one of the first things that you hear in that DVD, if I remember DVD, I keep calling it that documentary, is that the man they used to play with rocks at first. They would be doing kick-ups with rocks, bro. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Playing in the streets of Brazil with his man and the five-a-side, but the ball ain't there. They're playing with rocks first. Do you know what I'm trying to say? To be able to transition that to what he has become and what he is for football, it's beyond speech. Like I can't say enough about what he is to the game. And for the people who don't know about him or have forgotten how great he is, and even have dared to disrespect his ability or his achievements, go and do your research yourself, because you clearly just don't know. That's it. And I don't blame your ignorance, okay? Because we're living in the era of fast footage. We're getting it every day from our top footballers, and that's what's cramming our minds right now and everything like that. So you might not have the time to look back at Pele and see who is, but go and do that. Go and do that, and then come back to football and be like, wow, he's football.
Won a World Cup at 17.
He is football. What did you mean? 3 World Cups?
3 World Cups, yeah.
First one at 17.
Scored over 1,000 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. First one to do that. Yeah. Introduced the bicycle kick was called the Pele up until the 90s, bruv. Up until probably millennium. It was called the Pele. Yeah, the bicycle.
What is half of the tricks that people were doing, a lot of it stem from that Brazil squad, and he was probably responsible for 3 or 4 of those skills, and then they renamed it with someone else when he was doing it.
Yeah,
it's actually mad, because when you think about it, it's like it's even crazy. You think about it, we've got the Cruyff term and we've got
and that's
that.
his.
But we actually, there's no skill that's actually called you did the Pele. There isn't.
But the Cruyff is his. Imagine the Cruyff is his.
It is mad, yeah. Obviously, I don't know what it is. Whether if Cruyff added his own little sizzle to it, I don't know.
You know what it is. He's European, bro. He's European, white, blonde hair.
Even the flip flap, like, because that wasn't even Ronaldinho's, so that was Revellino's or something's first.
Yeah,
but it's not named the Revellino. It's named the flip flap or Elastico. But then the Cruyff turn is called the Cruyff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just.
But I remember being a kid calling the bicycle kick the Pele. I remember that.
They should have kept that as the Pele, man.
Well, yeah.
They should have kept that as the Pele. I might call it the Pele moving forward anytime I see someone do a bicycle kick, man. Because, like you said, when you think Pele, like, he's like the perfect example of what natural football looks like, because he was someone that had no points of reference and did those skills. So it's just someone who is playing, and in the instinct, he just tries something and it's like, oh, okay.
That's why you've got to call him football, bro, because he introduced things into the game. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He created things in the game that has lived on to now. He started that. Before him, they didn't do it. And that's why he's football, bro. He is football.
Think of what he probably had to overcome in those days. Like, those days where we know racial tension, like, we weren't far removed from, we know what we weren't far removed from. Like, racial tensions are all-time high. This guy's playing football wherever, winning World Cups at the age of 17, 22, 29, and the star of football, like carrying football.
Yeah, and he was a marketing genius. I can't remember who who was his sponsor. He was the first one to wear their football boots. Can't remember if it was it Adidas? Don't think it was. Was it Adidas?
Is it Adidas?
Can't remember, but what he did for
It might be
marketing
Adidas.
is just before the center, the kickoff, he quickly bent down on his knees and tied up his shoelaces, and that got the whole world looking at his trainers that he was doing up. Marketing genius as well. Yeah, because he was the Pele. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Amazing guy.
Yeah, but it's mad.
Rest in peace to the icon, man.
Rest in peace. Like the way the tributes that came in for him were like all amazing, and you can see that, like you said, like you both said, like his impact is the same like a Muhammad Ali type of thing. Obviously, he didn't do as many, things as Ali. He still did his fair share though, and it's like, but those kind of names, what they meant at that time, just can't be replicated now. And it's funny because I believe Messi's the greatest of all time, but it's funny because seeing tributes to Pele and seeing people saying one of the greatest ever, even that made me feel like raw. Like I think Messi's the greatest, but there's something about that's like
I felt that too. And you know what? And you know why I felt that as well? Is because another legend who I rank as one of the greats, if not alongside with Pele, is Maradona. And it was no problem for people to say he was the greatest to do it. There was no problem at all for them to say that.
That is true, actually.
But for Pele, it just seemed like one of the greatest. One of like even in death, you don't want to give him the true respect that he deserved. My man was football. And I think I only heard a couple people say like he is. You might as well say he is the foundation.
Muhammad Ali of
football. He is the foundation of football. All football.
Even if you want to see
something like that, and
that's
deep.
Yes, history gets whitewashed a little bit, and because some of his stuff wasn't documented. Like with him, like we know what's happened in history, man. We know, but like even like Pele, like because a lot of his things that you don't like, even me, like we got VHS, but this new generation, I don't know how much exposure they really have to seeing it. Like, I don't know.
Do you remember Pele was in that movie with Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah.
Wait, what movie is that?
They all got banged up in Nazi Germany. Yeah, banged up in jail, but they had to play for their freedom. If you want to get free, you have to beat us, basically.
It was too big of a name. I just think, it'll be interesting to see how his name is remembered by future generations. My fear is that it's not gonna be the same, innit? Like people, as soon as they see black and white, they'll dismiss that completely already. So it's a shame.
Now, a lot of people, man, who's in black and white, the Pelés of the world, the Maradonas, the Eusebios, all these people who are in black and white TV as well, you can be able to see. You're missing out on them, man. The Moors of the world, you know what I mean? Like the Charltons of the world, you're just missing out on great football, man. Great football.
You have to appreciate football. You have to you can't just appreciate it in this time. You have to see where it came from, from where it really, really elevated from. So I say go do your research if you ain't seen it.
Jeff, nail on the head. That is one of the problems with the new generations of footballers and not football fans, but also footballers. They haven't seen the history of football and seen where it's actually come from. Do you know what I mean? To where it is now. The appreciation for their position would be so much higher because, it was only maybe like 10, 15 years ago that footballers was still getting something like 30 grand a year. You know
that's the thing. And
they don't realize that it wasn't a good profession financially up until recently, bro. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So they have to appreciate the position.
Those men truly played for the love of the game,
man. Do you know what I mean? It pees me off when I see players not trying their hardest on a football match that they're being paid X amount for. Work hard, bro. Man, work harder for less back in the day for that, bro. Come on. You know
it's just the fact that football became such a business, like they don't really have the time to go understand. But you should.
But part of the reason it became such a business is because of them people like Pele.
Right.
People
Without
like
the foundation, without the
they were
foundation,
for a lot that goes on now because they became more than just football players. They became superstars.
Mhm.
yeah. I think Maradona
So-
got signed for £7 million like 32 years ago. £7
Wow.
million.
That's crazy
Imagine that
number.
back then, bro.
You know how big
remember.
you gotta be to get signed for £7 million in like the 1990s, like
80
early
something, bro.
1990s.
Crazy, bro. Like, nah, man. Honestly, like you both beautifully said it. But yeah, man. Rest in peace to like the godfather of football. I think that's the way I want to leave it. That's
Godfather of football. I'll take that.
the godfather of football, man. So yeah, man. Rest in peace to Pele. Rest in peace to Gianluca Vialli. Big up everyone who's tuned in, man. Appreciate it. Smash the likes now before you leave, and we'll be back next week. But until then, have a beautiful weekend, and we'll catch up with you all soon. Peace.
Happy New Year.
So long.
Happy New Year.